I'm in the ever beautiful Dartmoor, providing Nick from Hutt Life some guided 4x4 adventure. He then gives me a demo of the BootCamp system, a non-permanent solution that turns his Disco 4 into a comfy camper with pull-out kitchen. It's an understatement to say I was very impressed, so much so I managed to get my hands on one shortly after. More of that a bit later on.
So this is the Hutt BootCamp. So Hutt's my company. Think drawer system plus bed, but modular drawer system plus bed.
And the idea of making this effectively a camper.
Exactly. So the idea is you turn your car into a camper. It gives you kitchen and storage. It gives you sleeping space, but inside the vehicle. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not permanently installed. It goes in there. It connects through to the normal cargo tie down points. We'll go into that a little bit more later, but literally those are just tied in, so it's a sort of semi-permanent installation, can come out at any time.
But I guess at the moment, so it's in your Disco 4.
Yeah.
So with this particular one, is this very specific to a Disco 4 in terms of the sizing, or how transferable is it?
Disco 3 and 4 identical.
Yeah.
Disco 5 also fits. There's a small modification to one part to fit the Disco 5, but otherwise it's essentially the same across the Discovery range.
Yeah.
Ones and twos slightly different, but this one essentially fits all the 3s, 4s and 5s. So here for the reveal.
Yeah.
Out she comes. These boxes are literally plastic Euro boxes. So you don't need to keep this.
But you've made the lids for those.
I've made the lids for them. So this one, we'll start at the back here. This one is the water box. Yeah. So you've got a Dometic tap. Yep. Work Dometic tap. There you go. Giving you running water into a very innovative drainage system, which I worked on for a very long time.
Excellent.
There it goes.
And what do you do? Okay, so you've got a water.
There's a water bladder down there.
Yeah.
Carries about 6 litres.
Yeah.
Connected through to that tap. That charges via USB. This catches your water. You can use it for washing up. You can pop the washing up in there and go off.
I see. So the tap's got a battery within it,
rather
than
within
it being hooked up to.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just charge it off USB. But it lasts for a seriously long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I charge that thing once every several months, so it lasts a real long time. Little chopping board.
Nice. Yeah.
And as you saw there, that can just pop in there. That folds up there, so when it folds away, it's
and
all,
then
all
with
done and dusted.
the drawer sliders, what are those rated as? In terms of what did you end up speccing?
They're 100 kilos, but you never get anywhere near that. It's completely overrated. Yeah. Even with these loaded, you wouldn't get up to 20 kilos. So it's
I'm just thinking as well with the ply that you've gone for. So it's got the.
This is birch ply.
Birch ply with the textured.
Yeah, phenolic coating they call it.
Yeah.
So I think it's very popular now with a lot of overland builds and camper van builds.
Well, I guess it looks good, and also it's wipe clean, it's more durable.
It's wipe clean. It's extremely durable on this face here. In fact, you really have to go some to scratch it. You can scratch it, but it's very durable. It's fairly heat resistant, although I wouldn't put a hot pan down on it. Hence we have things like this if you're putting down a hot pan. But yeah, it's good quality stuff. The main case here is made out of 18mm. This is 12mm. And of course they can come in and out really, really easily. So if you're not using it as a camper, if you're just going back into normal family mode,
I see you've just got a nice.
All this stuff comes out, and you're back to a drawer. You can take out the mattress, you can take out the bed supports, and you're back to a practical family vehicle. In goes the shopping, in goes the school bags.
Excellent.
And off you go. And of course, if you want the 7 seats in these particular vehicles, you can get a slightly better view down there. That's just on normal snap hooks there, marine snap hooks.
I can see, yeah.
You can take it all out. I mean, I took it out a couple of times last week. We were doing some renovations, so I needed to have my cargo space back. And then, of course, if you're going camping, then
you whack it all in. And
in go your boxes.
What's the sort of weight of that drawer when you've taken? Because I imagine, would you take this off before you would take it out yourself? Or how do you usually do that?
So it's a 2-person lift. I would normally take off the mattress, take off this bed part, take these out, and then you really need one person either side. Yeah. So it's about just slightly less than 40 kilos for the box, and then whatever you have in there on top of that for the other bits. So you can pretty well configure the storage boxes any way you want to. This one has got a little cutout. This one is my cooker box, so I keep all of my stuff here. Here's the trangia for cooking. Got my plates in there. I've got my cutlery. Yeah. All the other sort of stuff. And I made this little cutout here, which just holds that on there. So when you're cooking, if you're on an angle, it doesn't try and sort of slide off. Just a simple
so you've gone
thing.
for a bit more of an old school sort of cooking system, do you think, over... Because I guess there's nothing to stop someone, or you even, if you want an induction hob.
I do actually have an induction hob as well.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
I haven't brought it with me. I've cut down a few bits, but I've got a battery in there. I've got an induction hob.
Yeah.
I can either supply one of these flat, if you want to use a different type of hob or cooking system, or just with that little cutout there. That's an optional extra. Yeah. But I mean, the good thing about these trangias, because here we are in a small vehicle, even though it's a big car, it's still a small vehicle as compared to a camper. So you're trying to make the most out of all the space you possibly can, and that's where things like the trangia work extremely well.
Yeah, well, the way it packs down is really neat, isn't it?
Exactly. So that one's for cooking. This one here, I keep all my food in there, all my dry food. So everything from, oh God, I'm showing the world how messy I am now. Everything from coffee and easy to prep food. And then last but not least, over in the corner, this one's a cool box. Some people take the cool box, some people put an extra storage box in there instead, but
just whack that in.
Just whack those in. Keeps your milk cold. And there you go.
But yeah, you end up with a good work surface as well. I just think if you're prepping food as well, that's good.
Yeah, and in fact, let me show you the next. Pop this away. So there she goes. If we fold that away quickly, sitting under here, tucked away, we have a table.
Okay.
Sitting over here, we've got some table legs.
So is that an extra someone can spec with this? Or?
That's this is all part and parcel for this summer.
Oh, nice.
So it's all bundled in. That goes on there.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be pretty substantial actually. Because usually camping tables, the one I've got, I've managed to kill it. Yeah. I'm actually in the market for a new table, but
yeah. The problem is, where do you put this stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're pushed for, as we've shown today, the beauty of these vehicles is you can go anywhere. You can get to places you wouldn't otherwise get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that comes with its challenge. Where do I put all my camping stuff? So, it's really about making the most out of every square centimetre, and frankly there was a gap under there was just asking for a table, so
yeah, it had to be done.
It had to be done. So there's that.
Et voila.
Not the biggest table in the world, but it's enough. And then we've got, where's our wobble? There's our wobble.
Adjustable
There's
legs.
always a wobble. You get a few centimetres to even things up a bit. There you go.
Very good. Right, so how do we turn this into a bed?
Let me show you the cargo space from the bed side. Which should we go? Should we go right or left? Let's go this way.
Going this way.
So there's my battery. I use that for my electric bracelet.
And which one have you got? Is that an EcoFlow?
That's an EcoFlow. It's a Delta. Yeah, bought for an incredible amount of money about 4 years ago, and now they're about a third of the price. Oh. But still good. Still absolutely fine. Yeah. So I've got the middle seat down. There's my pack. Let's get this out of the way. Electric blanket. So it was fairly cold last night. I mean, the season's changed a little bit, but this is the game changer. So that onto this, put it down low, and you're snugly there. Night. So
that's good, Nick.
And then if you have a little look in there, that's the kind of space you've still got left for kit.
Wow. Okay, that's That's a lot, actually. So out of interest, was that, so that's a conscious choice from your side to allow that much space? Because you could make, you know, a larger drawer system in there.
You could. I think it all fits it logically, because you take a 1.9 metre double bed length, you divide it by 3, you get to 633
and that's where
millimetres. That then fits in nicely. So everything sort of falls together, and then as a result of that, you've got that much space left over for the.
Because that's the nice thing with these Discos, everything is so accessible because you can put each seat down separately, and also just the configuration you had there, you just had the central one down, just to, you know, lay some cargo stuff, but also give access.
Yeah, I mean, if we were in summer mode, then I would have a fridge sitting on there. I've got a small fridge, which I run. So to complement the cool box, I run the fridge. That's then compatible with the bed. Not an expensive fridge by any means. Or if I've got all the kids, literally we need all the space, so I'll get rid of that. In the summer, I tend to leave the battery at home as well. I don't tend to need it so much. I just work with power banks. But there you go. As always, as the seasons change, your configuration changes, doesn't it? Yeah,
but that's a beauty. Well, that's a really nice thing with these Discos. I think they've got that kind of flexibility, which a lot of vehicles don't have, which is good. So
let me get this gear out, and then I'll show you how the bed works.
You've taken out your kit.
Right, so out comes the kit.
Yep.
There we go. Chairs. Get those out. So these are the bed supports, and that's the front bed. So we'll pop these down. You could do the same on that one.
Sure.
Holding the camera at the same time.
There we go.
And pop those headrests forward a teeny bit. One less thing to go wrong.
Yeah, true.
Right.
You don't have to, but you're intentionally using the headrests like this as a little bit of a
I think it's good.
Stop.
It's good to keep them in, just from a sort of safety point of view. So all I do is just nudge them forward.
Yeah.
Just to get them out of the way. And then it just slots neatly there. It just really needs to just kiss the front of the seat there to fit. Then over at the rear, out comes the mattress, like so. And then these bed platters just held in with these retaining bolts, like so.
Yep.
So I've got 4 of those. Good thing about a Disco, there's always a little hidey hole, isn't there, for all the little bits you need.
There are. It's definitely the most practical vehicle I've ever had. And also just the square shape, particularly in these Disco 3s and 4s.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The 5's got a few more angles to it, hasn't it?
Yeah. There's also, I found, sort of being a passenger in the rear of a 5, you definitely don't have as much space.
Really? Okay.
No, here you genuinely have, you know, I've got plenty of leg room.
Yeah.
The 5, that was, you know, kind of your knees are right up against the seat, and there's more arch as well. So Disco 4 all the way.
Yeah, I was just delivering to a customer the other day in a 5, and I noticed some of the later ones, there's a much reduced space here across the rear, which I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
But that vehicle was literally only a couple of years old, but you live and learn. So if I nudge those back, now I take these bed supports.
Yep.
They pop over here, in like so. And this one, shall I hand that? No. That one goes in there, down like so. And then this one goes across the middle.
And that is effectively your bed frame.
That's your bed frame, and then we pull these across here.
Yeah.
That clunks in.
I mean, it's a satisfying puzzle.
A satisfying puzzle. I love it when it does that final click.
Yeah.
There we go. And there's your bed frame. This could probably do with going forward a teeny little bit more. I haven't taken that. Pop that up.
I mean, yeah, that feels, solid.
Yeah. So the joints have got a little bit of movement in them. The idea is just so it all slots in without having to force it. But yeah, once it's on there, it kind of holds together.
Yep.
You've got a solid frame. And then in goes the mattress. like so, and then literally that folds forward like so. And there.
Nice. I'm just seeing, yeah,
There's your bed.
the thickness of the mattress there. I mean, that's
8 centimetres, 80 millimetres.
Yeah, that's very good.
Of course, you know, with the mattress, as in the rooftop tent, it's always a compromise.
And how do you find sleeping inside the disco in winter? You know, how much is condensation an issue, for example?
Not so much. I mean, it depends on the outside temperature and, you know, 1 or 2 people in there. I mean, this morning it was kind of 1 degree, I think, out last night.
Yeah,
the coldest.
so fresh, yeah.
There was a teeny little bit of condensation on the inside there, and on some of the rear windows, rear quarter lights, but, you know, it just opened up and it disappeared. But I always leave the windows cracked. I don't close up completely, so I've cracked down the windows. Got some of these.
Oh yeah, I've got some on
wind
mine.
guards.
Yeah.
And I literally just crack that here. The same on the other side. Got my thermal blinds up as well.
Yeah.
Really important. Keep all the temperature in. And with the electric blanket, I'm nice and toasty. There's no problems there at all. And you keep the condensation under control by having a little bit of airflow coming through there as well.
As you can see, the installation is very straightforward, and whilst the main drawer unit is reasonably heavy, I'd be able to lift it in and out on my own. Ideally you would do it with someone else just to save you back. The fact that I can easily revert the disco back to a 7-seater configuration when needed is a real plus. I genuinely believe I found the solution to camping and overlanding as a family of 5 in our Disco 4. Pair this boot camp with my Roof Space 4 roof tent and I have the potential to sleep up to 6 to 7 people. I hope you found the video informative and useful, and please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss my next one. I'm sure this boot camp system will crop up in future videos as I stop to brew up a coffee and enjoy a bite to eat. Until the next time, ahoy!